As you can see, we picked up quite a bit of science on that first run. It's exactly what we want to see. It's a continuation of episode 1 for those who are still following. Just simply took a break to go adjust the stream settings so that we could have a higher resolution. And we recovered pretty much all of our expenses because of the fact we recovered our craft. To be honest, I'm not even sure we're going to need that starting $500,000 that I gave us. But it's good to have. Maybe I'll use that to go ahead and upgrade the runway, in fact. Because, quite frankly, working with that thing can be a little bit of a nuisance. And we've completed our missions. So let's go pick up some more. It doesn't recognize the biplane as our first vessel. That's probably because it's not technically a rocket. So next thing we want to do is we want to escape the atmosphere. Well, we've got a lot of tech that we just picked up from that first mission. And since our priority right now isn't collecting the tech around the Space Center, and because of the fact that the game wants us to go to space and hasn't given us specific missions related to collecting that data, we might as well do what it wants. So let's see what our options are. We want to into space, but we don't want to burn up while doing it. We also want more science. We're going to have staging and communications if we're going to go too far away, so let's go ahead and get that done. We're going to need some liquid fuel, which, although we do have the biplanes, it's not going to survive re-entry. Let's see, we still have 21 left. We need the recovery systems to make sure that we always have safe landings, and we can get the barometric pressure readings all on the same go. So let's go ahead and grab these. And that expands all of our current science. Tolerances are better on the biplane, actually. That's weird. Don't think I would have made it quite that potent, but, well, maybe the needed stresses of landing have to be factored in. Alright, so, new ship, and we are going to into space, so we need a capsule. Well, the name of a baby dragon. So they will do Whelp Mark 1 will be the name of our early rocket series. We're going to need locks. Yeah, one of the mods allows us to adjust the scale of our tanks, and quite frankly, that can be abusive this early. Although I think you do have to pay the cost for it. Let's see, does the cost go up? Oh yeah, massively. We don't need anything big. We got to keep in mind that even though we could go crazy with this, we really need to keep our expenses down. Because it's just the basic early missions, they're not going to pay well. Although it may be cheaper than having multiple tanks. much more fuel does that give us? Quite a bit. What happens if we rescale this? Do we get more kernels? Nope, still just a one-man pod. It's just a huge one-man pod. No thanks. We'll keep the regular stuff. So we have a liquid stage here. Let's get a decoupler or coupler. And boost stage. Now the problem is if we use enlarged boosters at this early in the game, we could go so far out of atmosphere that our pod can't survive re-entry. So we're going to try to limit that. We're not actually going to go that crazy with it. At least not starting out. Let's see, we got any containers, payload containers? Yeah, yes we do. We're going to need those. Power, in case we don't have anything for power yet. Maybe we do. Let's see. Alkaline fuel cell takes hydrogen and water and breaks it down into electricity and water. Or hydrogen and oxygen breaks down electricity and water. So we can put one of these on here. Now we'll just make sure we don't run out of power. Not that it's a very big concern with these Mark 1 pods. Couple of guidance fins here on the bottom, make sure this thing doesn't go off course. Don't care about gear, all we care about is it landing safely. Probably in the ocean, in fact. This could be useful in case we come into multiple experiments we want to collect. We can put that here. Here's a trick that I use to transport these in such a way that they don't interfere with aerodynamics. Put them in here, and you angle them like so, and then when the bay opens it can extend out. Now, let's see, we need our science on board. We got our thermometer. Let's get our barometer. I don't think we're going to have room. No, I think I have a place for it. Just fits. Oop. Forgot to add the parachutes. Gotta revert. Actually, We will recover after we collect all the science from the pad. Precarious positioning, Jib. Hold on tight. And all that just from going to the launch pad. Early science is so much fun. And viewers, I do have a dual monitor display, so if you do participate in the chat, I will be able to see what you say to me. Alright, so let's get this thing some chutes. It's going to need them. I also like recovering everything if I can, so I've got a crazy idea. We're going to do a two-man team. Not sure how well that's going to work without struts, but we'll try it out and see. First thing I'll do is I'll have to blow the chutes early and recover them. Let's see here. How many parts can this thing handle? Up to 13 more. We should have plenty. And that should recover our booster. And this should recover our primary capsule. Actually, yeah, we probably need 3. Got a lot of extra equipment on this time. Don't need any landing gear because we're going to be ditching. Trying to tick off in my head if there's anything else we need before we get started here. Not going to be repairing anything. All the science is on board. We've got communications, heat shield, probably not going to be needed, but we will add a radiator panel for the stage that will be re-entering. Potentially re-entering. May not make it out of atmosphere yet, but just in case. And we need the water and the oxygen to make the power source work. See, what's their heat tolerance? Ooh, not so high. Maybe another. Let's see, do we have enough for that? Yes. Secondary payload bay for a battery. supply of hydrogen and oxygen. Oh, that's useful. Okay, it's got plenty enough to be left over for... Okay, so we don't actually need to add any more tanks. It actually has its own containment, so... well, I thought action groups were supposed to be available, but apparently they're not. Put in another pilot here. Since we no longer need these, we just get rid of that altogether. Instead we'll add more fuel. Alright, it's going to be one interesting launch. I'm worried about that knocking things off. Maybe we should put 2. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Could have sworn I turned the action groups on. Well, that's very bizarre. It's like it completely removed the option. Oh well, we'll have to work with it. Go ahead and take the orbit curve mission just on the off chance we are able to achieve orbit. Don't think we will, but worth being ready. Okay, here we go. First flight of the Whelp Mark 1. Let's see how she rolls. And immediately we're getting science right off the pad. Yeah, I don't think this thing is going to hit space at this speed. Not even close. It'll have a ton of science by the time it gets back. Let it slow down a little bit so the chutes will be safe deploying on the bottom. Chutes out on bottom stage, releasing stage. Oops, we have a staging issue. I forgot to turn off the chutes. Well, that's a bummer. We'll have to return back and fix that after. Even then, got quite a bit of altitude on the first section there. It'd be great to test the landing systems, make sure everything runs as planned. Still just barely within visible range of each other. Turn on targeting so you can see the location of the other vessel. This one's probably going to land on its fairing the way it's oriented. The other one looks like it's going to land out to sea as planned. It may be falling a little faster than I expected. Hopefully the chutes will slow it down. There we go. That's what we want to see. Go check in with the other. One of the priorities with career mode is doing as many missions as you can simultaneously. If you can do that, you'll rake in the money. Also, recoverability. If you can get your ships back in one piece, then you don't have to pay for all the cost of, well, replacing them. You get most of the value of your parts back. That mostly worked as I wanted. All we've got to do is make sure the staging is right on the chute. As I said, I don't typically recover when I'm actually trying to run a mission, because in reality you don't get that chance. However, engaging the secondary systems in the event of an accidental failure is a completely different matter. And in this case, very much applied. Going to land first, so we'll stay focused on it till it hits ground and then move on to the other. If all goes well, it will simply tip over onto its side without any parts going boom. because it's got so many chutes. And successful landing. And I expect the same with this one, except it may actually stay balanced on the fairing, which is kind of funny. Ooh. The fairing is not a collidable part. Nice to know. Alright, recovering both vessels. And we have all of our money back and a lot more science. Now I could go ahead and start doing the science, but I actually wanted to have this work. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get this thing deployed the way it should have been deployed. I mean, it's still probably not going to reach space, but it's a nice dual launch system, especially since all the parts are recoverable. We want the first stage shoots to stage before its separation. That looks good. Should I name this thing Gemini for twins? It's got two manned stages. Oh, did I forget the other Kerbal? I may have forgotten the other Kerbal. Hopefully the chutes on the second stage will still deploy and it'll still be recoverable, despite the fact I left the other Kerbal behind. Nose out for over the ocean. Goodbye, stage one. Oh crap. That was probably a bad move. Let's see if we can get back on course. Come on, gimbal, work for me. Note to self, do not attempt to nose over too early. SAS is so weak on these. And we're out of gas anyway. walking distance of the monolift if I wanted to go over to it. At least we got a lot of data. Hey Jip, go for a walk. Let me guess. Your landing hatch is closed. Can we roll? Let's see. Oh. Battery's not running. Oh. Careful, 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 Jip. There we go. Now we have SAS. There you go, Jeb. No, I was forgetting something. Haven't had the battery enabled. No wonder SAS was so weak. And what you learn. And we're out of mystery goo canisters. Don't know what's going on with it right now. The stream is quite a bit behind people. Probably because I'm broadcasting in max resolution. I'll go adjust that and I will be right back.